Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Astros, and it's like 3 in the morning, but I feel productive. Weston, is it because of the Red Bull and coffee? Probably, but I'm feeling pretty not tired whatsoever, which is not a good thing because it's that time of night where you start to have the internal debate of, should I just go to sleep or should I just power through with coffee and just not sleep? I don't know who will win this internal struggle, but certainly someone will. Anyway, I kind of realized that, like, I need to make a deadline video or else it's just going to be completely outdated. And so yesterday, 2 days ago, Sunday afternoon, I started working on the research for it. I'm recording this Tuesday morning at, like, 3, and this probably will come out, like, Tuesday afternoon. But this video was really hard to research because, honestly, it's pretty much radio silence for who the Astros are interested in. There's two names that keep popping up. It's Kimbrel and Scherzer. And I will talk about those two guys, but I wanted to talk about a few other players that might be good to add to the bullpen. And what I tried to do is find guys who I think will likely be on relatively cheaper deals or expiring contracts that I think are real options that you might be able to look at. I don't know how real any of these options are. I don't know what the chances are. I'm not hearing things about these names. A few of these are just guys that I think are interesting and I would be totally cool adding and that I would like to. Right? So these are just names that I found. So the first one that I want to talk about is Ranger Suarez. 1.15 ERA. So incredible there. A 3.30 or a 3.47 ERA plus, which is fantastic. A .821 WHIP, which is unreal. His chase and whiff rates aren't fantastic on Baseball Savant. They're a little underwhelming, but overall, the Phillies should not be competing, and so I think this is a name that you could try to go for. Again, I don't know how likely any of these are, right? These are just names that I saw, and I'm like, that would be an interesting move to make, potentially, right? So take all of these, except for the Kimbrel and Scherzer that I'll talk about towards the end, with a grain of salt. Because other than those two, nothing has really been heard by anyone about who the Astros may or may not be looking at. The next name that I wanted to talk about, because I find it interesting and an interesting... Nope. So the next name that I'd be interested in is potentially Alex Reyes, who is on the Cardinals. And again, I don't know how likely these are. I'm just spitballing here. Great ERA, 2.01, 190 ERA plus. He has a bit of a walk problem, but I would be okay seeing what potentially Brent Strom could do with that. Maybe he could give him a hand there. His Baseball Savant rankings are fantastic, lighting up the leaderboards. 58 strikeouts so far in 44 and 2/3 innings for a K per 9 of 11.7. Pretty big fan of this guy. He is a closer, but with that, you could just either have Presley go back to his position of setup man that he was in 2018 and 19, or have Reyes go to that position. And before anyone says, but Weston, I'm not sure about that, Kimbrel might happen. So those are very real possibilities. And he has worked at, like, other positions, right? He was a just normal relief pitcher last year and the year before that, where he wasn't closing games out so much as just pitching in middle relief, which, again, that is sort of what I think the Astros should go for, is certainly middle relief. But if you have an opportunity for an elite closer, go for that. 110% go for that. So before I get into the names that we've heard a lot about and buzz with, Daniel Hudson is having a return to form this year for Washington, and I'm totally down with it, honestly, if you want to go this route. His ERA, expected ERA, and FIP are all pretty much right within each other. Like, it's kind of unusual. 2.37 ERA, expected ERA of 2.43, and a FIP of 2.60, which is great. That's very good. He seemingly is having another good season. If you want to go that route, that's a good way to do it. If I'm not mistaken, he's on either the last or second to last year of a contract, so again, it might not be as expensive, which would be a big positive. And that's going to lead us into the names that everyone's heard of. You know who they are. They need no further introduction. The next rumor needs no introduction. You know who he is. So it seems to a lot of people like Kimbrel to the Astros is just a foregone conclusion. And, oh my god, if it is, how are the Astros not your World Series pick? Like, realistically, if the Astros get Craig Kimbrel, they're the World Series favorites. They have to be. Kimbrel is having one of the best seasons of his, easily the best season of his career. One of the best seasons in the history of relief pitching. To this point, 35 innings pitched, a .50 ERA, half a run per 9. It's ridiculous. He's given up 1 home run all year, 2 earned runs all year. He has 61 strikeouts to 12 walks, which is a K per 9 of 15.4, which is redonkulous. He has an ERA plus of 8.02. What? His FIP is 111. He has a whip of .673. This guy is having just such a ridiculous season that if you have the opportunity, here's the thing, right? The Astros said, if we're going over the cap, we're going way over. If you want to do it this year, this is a guy you got to go get. Craig Kimbrel is insane right now. He might be having the best season in baseball history. He realistically, if he wasn't in the National League where Jacob deGrom is just running away with the Cy Young, if he spends enough time in the American League, he could get Cy Young votes. He could potentially, on a normal season, win a Cy Young award with a season this good. He is ridiculous right now. And if James Click, if you're listening, go get him. Make the blockbuster deal. Do whatever it takes. Go get Craig Kimbrel. That would be awesome. And the last guy that I want to talk about, that I have to talk about, I don't know that it's going to happen. I don't think it is. But here's the thing, right? I try to be pretty robotic with sports, right? Let players go, bring players in, trade them, what have you, all in the pursuit of champions. Now, this next guy would help you in the pursuit of championships, but also it's Max Scherzer is a rumor that's been popping around. The Astros are reportedly frontrunners for him, which is very exciting. Now, he is a half-year rental. Potentially, it would make sense to bring him in and then maybe re-sign him for a year or two, with Verlander seemingly either going to retire or probably not re-sign. I would imagine he might go back to Detroit or somewhere else. I don't know. Honestly, my hot take is that Verlander just hangs it up. But there's that. There's the fact that you might not bring back Greinke. And if you wanted to do Scherzer, that's a pretty good route to go. He's having a great year. Made the All-Star team. Really deserving of it. One of the few guys that was. 2.83 ERA, a 136 ERA plus, 142 strikeouts, a .886 whip, a 12.2 K per 9. It's Max Scherzer. I love the guy. The last time we brought in an ex-Tiger with Cy Young Award was 2017. And that worked out pretty well. Obviously, Scherzer would be probably the biggest trade since Verlander. And realistically, if you're looking at just rental trade, probably the biggest one since Randy Johnson. This would be huge for the Astros to bring in a guy like Scherzer. It would be huge for them to bring in Kimbrel either. It's going to be heating up this week. It's going to be heating up a lot. And just remember this. If you think about anything that happens this week, and you think, is that a good prospect to trade? Right? Are we doing the right things? Just remember, you're not going to be thinking about the prospects. You're not going to be thinking about the money if come October we get to hoist the Commissioner's Trophy high. Because if that happens, I'm honestly not going to care about anything we gave up. I am going to care about that moment in particular, which the Astros are a frontrunner right now for the World Series in general. If you're going to make a move to bring in any of these guys, I really don't see how you don't become the favorite. because any of these names, specifically the last two, would just make a team that is already deadly even deadlier. And I'm recording this now because I wanted something positive, because I'm recording it back to back to the Mariners collapse video. And I wanted something positive. And even though that happened and it's fresh in my mind, I'm still just thinking about how good this team is overall and how any of these guys are just going to make that so much better. Oh, it's going to be an exciting second half. And it should be a really exciting October. Oh, I'm getting giddy for Friday. Comment below how you want me to do videos Friday. If you'd like me to do like one long video talking about moves that we might potentially make, or any little move that the Astros make, if you'd like me to cover, or just the bigger moves, I'm interested to see how you guys would like me to do that, and I will do whatever. I'll make it flexible. So that is all I have. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day. And as always, go Astros.